Ah, Chloe, here we are in the heart of proper England. This, my dear, is how you do travel properly.
Are we sure this isn't a museum tour for rich people?
Welcome, darlings, to England, the very heart of sophistication, culture and history. I am Winifred Wetherby-Tillingham, your quintessential guide to the most refined experiences this grand country has to offer.
And I'm Chloe. I'll be here to make sure we don't spend a small fortune doing it.
We're here with Traveluptuous, your trusted source for splendid adventures, featuring only the finest locations, experiences and indulgences.
Yeah. Also, we're supposed to tell you to, subscribe or something. So, hit that button. Or don't. We're not your bosses.
Yes, do subscribe, dear friends. It's the proper thing to do. Just think of it as your small contribution to the cultural enrichment of the world.
Sure, proper. Like tea with the queen, or I guess with the king now. Either way, I promise we'll make it worth your while. Mostly by letting Winifred try to convince me to be fancy.
Now, Chloe, no visit to England is complete without a stroll past Buckingham Palace. This, my dear viewers, is where the British monarch resides, an enduring symbol of true British elegance. Just look at those stately gates and the beautiful guards in their red uniforms. This is history in motion.
Yeah, it's a big old fancy house. Looks like the kind of place they'd film a movie where someone solves a murder, right? You gotta love the drama. But did you know there are tons of free museums here? You can check out some amazing art without breaking the bank. Just saying, like the National Gallery people, it's literally free.
Well, yes, but high tea at Claridge's is also an absolute must. It's where you can truly immerse yourself in the atmosphere of refined London society. Imagine delicate china, cucumber sandwiches, and the gentle clink of spoons in teacups. Ah, bliss.
High tea, sure. If you're ready to drop $50 on some tiny sandwiches, or as we say in New York, that's just too much for bread and cucumbers. Or we could just grab some street food in Camden. I mean, it's got character and actual food. You ever had a churro while watching someone do street art? That's an experience.
Camden? Oh, Chloe, you are incorrigible. The juxtaposition of true elegance and street art is quite something. Although, I suppose there is a certain bohemian charm to Camden, in that wonderfully eclectic, rather rough around the edges sort of way, if one is inclined towards such experiences.
That's right. Keep an open mind, Winifred. It's all about balance, you know?
Balance indeed. Fine. I shall embrace this balance of yours. But after our visit to Camden, we must pay a visit to Harrods. One cannot fully experience London without at least window shopping at Harrods. The epitome of opulence.
Oh, window shopping at Harrods? Now you're speaking my language. You get the opulence, and I get to keep my wallet intact. Win-win.
And now, my dear Chloe, behold the beauty of the English countryside. The Cotswolds, a place of quaint cottages, rolling hills and sheep grazing lazily. Truly the essence of pastoral charm. Can you just imagine spending a weekend here, curled up by the fireplace, reading a classic novel?
Okay, but these look like the world's cutest Airbnb listings. I mean, tell me this doesn't scream weekend getaway with way too many snacks. Seriously, it's cute, but if I'm paying, I'm making sure there's a full minibar. Seriously though, it's cute. I could do without the whole getting lost in hedgerows thing though.
Oh, don't be silly, Chloe. Getting lost in the hedgerows is part of the experience. It's all about adventure, even if that adventure involves navigating a maze of shrubs. Besides, you never know what charming surprises you might stumble upon. A little bakery, perhaps? Or a lovely village pub?
I mean, if there's a bakery involved, I'm in. And speaking of surprises, how do people get around here anyway? These roads are like something out of a storybook. We definitely need a car. Maybe a cute one from localrent.com? I'm thinking something small enough to not get stuck in the hedgerows.
Ah, yes, the classic countryside stroll. But I suppose a quaint rental car does have its uses, if one must. There is something undeniably charming about the idea of a convertible, driving along the winding lanes, the wind in your hair.
Wind in my hair or bugs in my teeth. Either way, let's make sure the car comes with GPS. I'd rather not accidentally end up in someone's sheep pasture.
Fair enough. Though I must say being lost in a sheep pasture could lead to some delightful stories. Imagine the tales you'd have to tell.
Yeah, that time I almost got adopted by sheep. Sounds like a bestseller.
And here we have Oxford, an institution of the highest academic prestige, darling. This place has fostered brilliance for centuries. Just imagine the minds that have walked these hallowed halls, the discoveries, the philosophies, the grandeur of intellect in its purest form.
Yeah, I can already feel my IQ going up. Maybe I'll get a degree just by walking around without the student loans. Honestly, though, it's pretty. I get why people want to study here.
Oh, Chloe, you do make everything sound so delightfully simple. But Oxford and Cambridge are more than just universities. They are the cradle of intellect and tradition.
Okay, but do they have a budget option for taking a peek inside? Asking for my wallet? Maybe I could just take a picture of the outside and call it a day?
Well, I suppose some of the tours are quite reasonably priced, relatively speaking.
Public lectures, huh? All right, I could get behind that. I'll just stand in the back with my coffee, nodding along like I'm totally getting it. Quantum mechanics? Yeah, sure, fascinating, totally.
Oh, Chloe, perhaps we should attend a lecture together. I would love to see you try to blend in with the scholars.
I mean, I know some Shakespeare. To be or not to be budget-friendly? That is the question.
Indeed, that is always your question. Now, Chloe, we simply must experience a proper afternoon tea. Look at this wonderful spread. Fresh scones, clotted cream, delicate sandwiches. This is what being in England is truly about. It's tradition, history and sophistication all in one delightful meal.
Or, hear me out, we can eat these sandwiches I made back at the hotel. They're way cheaper. And look, no one's charging me extra for jam.
Chloe, the experience is just as important as the food itself. Tea, tradition and exquisite company. The elegant service, the fine china, the soothing atmosphere. It's a moment of respite, a chance to feel utterly pampered.
Right, because nothing says exquisite company like paying a small fortune for a tiny slice of bread. Honestly, Winifred, my sandwiches have vibe too. The vibe of me not being broke afterward. And isn't that a kind of sophistication in itself?
Well, one could always stay at one of the fine hotels where such teas are offered. I recently found a splendid deal on Hotel Look. Perhaps next time you could look into it. They have wonderful packages, including afternoon tea, that make the experience a bit more accessible.
Only if they throw in free sandwiches or, free breakfast. Now that is my kind of package.
One day, Chloe, I shall turn you into a true connoisseur of fine experiences.
Hey, I'm all for fine experiences as long as they come with a reasonable price tag.
And here we are, Chloe, a genuine medieval castle. Just imagine the history that took place within these very walls. The grandeur, the intrigue, the royalty. Tales of knights, kings, queens, and the timeless splendor of the past.
So, which room was yours back in the day, Winifred? I mean, with all your connections, you must have a secret royal lineage or something, right? A cousin twice removed who lived in a castle, since you're so into this stuff.
Chloe, I'm not that old. Though if I had been here, I imagine I would have lived in the Grand Tower, overseeing the beautiful grounds.
I mean, if these walls could talk, right? But seriously, castles are cool. Just wish they weren't so pricey to stay near. I guess that's where Vacabee comes in. A longer stay to soak up the history without having to mortgage your future.
Quite. And truly, there is nothing like waking up to a view of an ancient castle. One must indulge in such luxuries, at least once in a lifetime, to feel the weight of history, to connect with the past.
Agreed. As long as there's a budget option, maybe we could camp nearby. I'd be down for that.
Camping? Near a castle? Oh, Chloe, you do have an extraordinary knack for making even the grandest things sound so pedestrian. Though I must admit there is a certain rustic charm to it. But naturally, I insist on at least one night in a proper manner. Silk sheets, breakfast served in the garden. One must indulge in life's luxuries. Imagine the stories.
All right. One night in a manor, then it's camping the next. Deal?
Deal. I shall bring the finest camping tea set one can find.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
Well, dear viewers, I do believe Chloe has learned the proper way to experience England. A delicate mix of sophistication, tradition, and just a hint of adventure.
Oh, I've learned a lot. Like how to save money while you're busy being fancy. And that hedgerows are not my friends.
Always the pragmatist, my dear Chloe. But perhaps you've come to appreciate a bit of elegance as well.
Maybe a little. But I'm still all about those budget-friendly options. You can be fancy, I'll be practical, and together we make it work.
Indeed we do. And to our dear viewers, if you liked this video, you know the drill. Hit that subscribe button. It would be most improper not to.
Yeah, especially because Winifred here needs an audience for her fancy tea parties. And don't forget to check the links below for some awesome travel deals.
Yes, do check those links, especially if you're feeling inspired to explore England, whether with a touch of elegance or a hint of Chloe's delightful practicality.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll catch you in the next one. And remember, travel doesn't have to be expensive, but it can always be an adventure.
Quite so. Until next time, dear friends, cheerio!